Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Two Geeks podcast. And look who is back!
Hello. Yes.
Steve.
We've returned.
It's so good to have you back, sir. I'm screaming and my volume is peaking, so I shouldn't do that. But I'm just so excited because Steven's back. How was your birthday, sir?
It was absolutely superb. From what I remember of it.
From what I could see online, you seem to have quite a good time.
I did. I went to an old club that I haven't been to because we went back to Aberdeen, which is where I went to uni. Met up with friends that I made at uni, and celebrated in a bar that I used to go at uni. But it was very good. It was very fun.
I can appreciate that. There's nothing like a good night out after a while in familiar territory and good music from the sound of it. It sounded like a cool place from the clips I've seen.
It was very good. Although I will tell this story very quickly because it was very funny to us.
Please do.
The club that we were at, we were trying to request, I think my friend tried to request a song from Ghost or something.
Yeah.
Like a kind of rock band.
I know who Ghost are.
The club, I was just in case anyone else did. The club were trying to be like, well, it doesn't really fit our vibe. This is more like indie, what was they call it? Indie pop, I think they called it. And then they played Taylor Swift.
Fuck off.
Which at one point I'm like, yes, that indie artist Taylor Swift. Can't play Ghost. They can play Tenacious D though. No one's heard of them, I guess.
Oh no, yeah, that was the one that you uploaded, wasn't it? Tenacious D.
Yeah,
I
was wanting that.
Love a bit of Tenacious D. Oh.
Yes, and I saw obviously you and Henry were having a good time last week. I saw a little bit of that on my bus journey back and forward from Fife to family.
Well, thanks again to Henry. Henry, if you're watching, thank you again for covering for Stephen last week. He is adamant. He's told me, I think he said it on stream. He said, put this down as my official. Yes, I will come back. So hopefully we'll get him back and it will be the three of us instead of just two of us.
Superb.
And that should be really fun. That'll be somewhere down the line. I've already told him the kind of vibe that we're going for. I'm not saying what the theme is to the public, but I know me and you have discussed it. I've let him know what the general idea is and he is very interested to have a discussion around that. So that'll be very fun to do somewhere down the line. Before we get on to what's new and all that stuff, I'm going to come up with a name at some point for that. I just want to quickly re-mention my unofficial sponsor thing that I have. You missed this bit. I did an ad read at the beginning of the last episode. Oh. I've come to somewhat of an agreement. But it's mostly for the benefit of our northwesterly friends around the Blackpool area, which is where I come from. The Backlot Blackpool, which was about to open before the last stream, is now officially open. It is the first and only IMAX cinema in Blackpool. It has the biggest IMAX screen in the whole of Lancashire, and apparently it has been doing very, very well since its opening. They're all very excited, and they're all looking forward to what you can do. And it has some amazing stuff that you can do. You can get a VIP membership, which gives you your own personalised cinema seat in the IMAX screen, and you can hire out the entire screen for evenings to watch movie marathons with your friends, or if you want to take a games console, you can go hook it up, and then you can play your video games on a huge cinema screen. Apparently it's very cool. I'm very much looking forward to checking it out. I'm going to visit in Blackpool in a couple of weeks and I'm going to be checking out the Backlot then. So if you're in the Blackpool area, go check out the Backlot Blackpool IMAX cinema.
Sick.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Have you been to many IMAX screens?
I have never seen anything in IMAX, so I'm very excited.
My first IMAX screening that I went to was for the Batman.
Ooh, good choice.
And it was class. That car chase scene in an IMAX situation was fantastic.
That's pretty
and
cool.
It was it made it all worthwhile. Because I went to see that. I don't know if I've told this story before to anyone, but I went to see the Batman twice in the same night.
You've not said this story.
For some reason, yeah. So there was a midnight screening, obviously because it was coming out at midnight. But for some reason, my local cinema was showing a 7:30 screening. Technically a day early. I don't know why.
What?
So it went from 7:30 until I don't know 10, and then I walked from one cinema to my other cinema
for the midnight viewing.
Showing it at midnight, and I went to see it again.
Respect. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good movie. Otherwise, that would have been disappointing.
I know.
But no, yeah, I'm trying to think what movie I should see in the IMAX. I'm very tempted to see Godzilla Kong because that's coming out at the end of this week, and I'm sure it'll still be in cinema on the 18th of April, which is I think when I've penciled it in. However, I'm going with my girlfriend and I remember showing her the trailer and she got halfway through and was like, it's not really my kind of movie, you can just watch it by yourself. And I'm like, ugh. So I might have to just leave her at the hotel.
I have been showing off, there's a clip they released of Godzilla X Kong. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know what context the clip is. It's such a non-spoilery clip that makes me laugh every
Is
time.
this the one when Kong's like trying to get Godzilla's attention? He's like, no, don't calm down.
Yes. It's that. I've been showing it to everyone because I find it so funny. That giant lizard wants to fight that monkey. Like, he doesn't like that he's anywhere near him, and I think that's so funny to me.
It's like when you're... I don't know if you had this experience in high school or secondary school, depending where you're from. I don't know what terminology you use. But it's like when you were forced to play rugby and you're not a kid who would play rugby, i.e. me. And for some reason you'd end up with a ball in your hand and you get people that running at you and you're like, just no, leave me alone, please have the ball. That's the kind of vibe that I got from that.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I think me and some of the people at work are going to try and go on Monday to see it. So by the next time we do a podcast, I will have seen that film.
If I planned with someone I work with to go see it. We were hoping to go see it this weekend when it comes out, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to try and see with him. If it gets to the time of I trip to Blackpool, I will go and see it by myself in IMAX because I will definitely have seen it before the next podcast. So the next podcast might purely just be Godzilla Kong spoiler review.
The last film I actually saw in IMAX was a Godzilla film. It was the Godzilla -1. We saw that in IMAX, and that was super.
Yeah, it's meant to be really good. I still haven't seen that yet.
Have you seen that film yet?
No, I really need to. Is it on anything?
I don't think it's out yet.
Oh, fair.
On anything, but when it does,
I'll watch it.
Soon.
I think
it was only a small cinema release.
I swear I remember seeing an advert for it somewhere. It might be on Prime, maybe. I'll check it. I'll see if I can find it.
Surprised. Yeah.
There you go. So I'm gonna see. I'll make sure we both seen Godzilla Kong for the next one, and I'll also see if I can go about seeing Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
As well for the next podcast. So
the big Godzilla episode.
We can just be Godzilla. Anyway, should we move on to interesting things in the geek world that have happened over the last 2 weeks?
We certainly can.
Cool, because I don't know about you, but I have so many bullet points. So much has happened in the last 2 weeks. Do you want me to kick it off, or do you have something cool to kick it off with?
You kick it off, because I feel like I don't have as many, and then I'll probably forget some, and then you'll probably say something, and I'll be like, oh, that's right, that did happen.
That's what I'm expecting to do the same as you. So I'll try and pick one that's like completely just really like, oh, look, this is happening, then we just move on. Well, I know me and you are both big Doctor Who fans.
Yeah.
And for one, I'm also a big David Tennant fan. Apparently, there's a new game show coming out on ITV with David Tennant hosting it.
Did see that. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know if it's really considered geek news. It was just, David Tennant's doing a thing. Let's talk about that.
I mean, let's face it, most of the fan base that will watch that show will probably be Doctor Who fans.
Exactly, all Good Omen fans. They seem to have seeped through. So that's cool. I probably won't watch it because I don't really watch game shows, unless I'm with my missus, in which case we do. So I probably will watch it. Anyway, as well as that, moving on to the Doctor Who thing, new trailer and official release date.
Yep.
What's your?
It's going to be wild. I don't know how people are going to feel about it.
No, me neither. What's your opinion on the whole America technically getting it first thing and us getting it at midnight?
I mean, it's confusing because, we will get it at the same time. It just means that we have to watch it at midnight. It's all released at the same time.
Exactly, but it means Americans getting it during waking hours.
Yeah, well, for them it's like what? 3? No, it's not. It's I can't remember what time.
If it's midnight for us,
it's early in the morning for them.
Is it?
Something like that. It's confusing me because from what I remember, because obviously they did the same thing, kind of with the old episodes, like the other episode, the specials that just came out.
I thought they came out at like 7 p.m. Yeah, because they came on BBC One, so it was as they came.
For us, it would be 7 p.m. In America, apparently, it was like 3 p.m. or something.
Oh, fair.
So it actually makes more sense that they just kept it the way it was.
Yeah, it's like just put it.
Just scheduling, they just couldn't get the time or something, so they've just made it.
Doctor Who. It's always had that time on BBC One. It should have like a 60-year-old right to be.
Yeah, literally.
It's weird. Did you take?
I don't get it.
Me neither. Did you take note of the start date? Because I didn't. I just put start date.
It's 11th of May.
11th of May. 11th of May. And I'm sure we'll end up talking about that on the podcast afterwards.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Because
I'm looking forward to it. It's a conflicting thing in me where I do obviously want to watch it live on TV because it does come on live on BBC One and stuff. It just obviously happens hours and hours later where it's already been on BBC iPlayer, which makes it more confusing.
True. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's like most of the fan base will have seen it by then.
Yeah, so that's it. And that's the other problem is they're releasing the first 2 episodes on BBC iPlayer. So you're already going to be, if you just wanted to watch it live on TV, you're already an episode behind.
Oh wow! And if you spent any time on the internet, it's gonna have been ruined for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
But and my thing is like I know they're trying to be like, oh, hopefully no one gets spoiled. But for me, it's like, is it really a spoilery show? Like usually the end, obviously the last two episodes tend to be heavy on plot.
You make a fair
Like
point.
I've just never really gone into Doctor Who and been like, oh, I don't want to get spoiled of this week's. I won't know. I'll learn who the monster is. Not that I'm saying I want to get spoiled, but I just don't know why they're hiding it.
You
as
make
if
that's actually a fair
I don't
point.
get it.
When you say that, that is a fair point. It's just a case of like, I want to be able to experience the entire story on my own for the first time. So it's just that kind of thing. Because you get people who post like the key scenes, and you're like, stop it.
Yeah.
I want to watch it and go, oh my god, this is so cool, and not, oh yeah, I saw that on Instagram last night.
And that's it. I'm so mixed because obviously as a person who has been making a lot of Doctor Who memes and stuff recently, my entire thing has been I've been impatient for it.
True.
So the idea that I'm gonna get 2 episodes at midnight that I can just batter through as soon as I wake up, or not even wake up, before I even go to bed, I can watch it, is great. Then on the other hand, the part of me that wants to watch it on TV like a normal person after I've come back from work and had like made food and you're ready for your dinner and Doctor Who's about to start, it's a mixed feeling. If it's good enough, hopefully I'll watch it twice. Hopefully I'll watch the 2 episodes and then be like, well, you know what? I'm up now. It's 7 p.m. Shove it on BBC One.
That's fair.
But I just don't know. It's going to be conflicting.
See, I can understand that conflict. I don't have that myself because I've reached a point with the way series are these days. I've reached a point of all my series being on a streaming service that I'd go home and put on. So that doesn't bother me. It's like when the anniversary was on. It was during like the Christmas period at work, and so every Saturday I was at work until like 3:00 in the morning. Yeah. So I wasn't able to watch it live. So it got to a point where I was like, right, what time is it? And someone was like, oh, 7 p.m. I'm like, right, if I look at my phone, slap me. Because the second I turn on social media, someone's going to spoil Doctor Who for me. So I cannot look at my phone for the rest of the night. And then I get home and then I'll watch that episode at 4:00 in the morning before I go to bed. So I'm totally used to just having it as soon as I can. So that doesn't bother me. But the idea of it being accessible to, the spoiler-heavy part of the world before, English people. Not saying that we have a right, but we do. It's our show. We should get it first. Whatever.
It's very like we're passionate. We're
yeah.
passionate when it comes to that.
Anyway, we can be talking about Doctor Who for ages. Do you have anything interesting to share before I blitz through the rest of my list?
That I can really remember that I wanted to bring up was the fact that the Penguin trailer got released.
I haven't watched it.
It's so interesting. And I remember, again, this is before, I remember that Penguin show got announced before the Batman, or it was rumored before the Batman even came out. And I remember being like, why would I want to watch a show about the Penguin? Didn't we have that with Gotham? Like, wasn't that
true?
He
was kind of a main character for a long time, wasn't
he? Yeah. And then the trailer, after I saw the Batman, I was like, you know what? I could watch Colin Farrell in that makeup doing whatever he wants. Cut to now, the trailer is out. It's not a long trailer. It's not like a minute long. It's only like a teaser of the show, but it's already grabbed me. I'm already like, I'm in. You just have that man in that makeup and have him smoking a cigar and saying things in a funny accent, and I'm all in. I'm sitting there clapping at the audience like, yeah, more of this.
More of this. Else. That is fair. I will not say it was a bad movie, but he was definitely one of like the stronger parts of that film.
100%.
Oh, aye. But no, yeah, I need to watch that trailer. Otherwise, I would say more about it.
Yes,
it passed me by.
It captures the vibe. Already captures the vibe of the Batman as well. Like, just looks like a continuation of the movie, and that's what you want.
Yeah.
From a show like that.
Yeah, if it's part of the universe, you want it to feel like it's part of the universe. You don't want it to go, oh well, I recognize the characters, but it feels like an entirely different world.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, should we stay on the subject of trailers, or should I go over the games?
I mean, a mix of both. What I'm going to say though is I just came across this tweet and I saved it just because I thought it was very funny. So someone recommended, how there's the new Planet of the Apes movie coming out.
Yeah, that's a good trailer. That looked cool.
Yeah. So I've never really been huge on the Planet of the Apes films. I've always thought they looked cool, but I've never just sat down and watched them all.
In fact.
But someone did a thing of did you watch Prey, the Predator movie that came out on Disney Plus?
No.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
It's so good. And it was one of those films that I was like, yeah, I'll watch it just cause. But they came out, and someone on Twitter was like, look, hear me out. What if they did a movie with Predator hunting the apes who have taken over?
That would be pretty cool.
But here's how they caught me, because I was like, fun. But then they caught me by the title. What if it was like Godzilla X Kong? What if it was Ape X Predator? as in like Apex. I was like, you know what? You've sold a ticket. I don't know how any studio right now isn't like, take my money. You're right.
Boom.
The title alone saves it.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how you do it. So I hope that person who did that tweet gets a lot of money.
Nice. Oh, that's a good trailer. I forgot to mention that though, but that trailer is mad. The thing is, I really enjoyed the first two, and then I just got super bored during the third one. But this new one looks cool, so I won't see it in cinema.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've never watched them all, but I've always watched the trailers for these films. I actually know pretty much what happens in all of them. I've just never sat down and watched them.
I would very much recommend watching Rise.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, Dawn was also pretty cool. However, War, I just got so bored, which is weird because Woody Harrelson's in there and I love him.
Yeah.
But it was just so boring. You might think it's better. You like Dune, which Henry really wanted to talk about, but you weren't here.
Me and him will talk about it because I saw it recently, and what a film! What a film!
Yeah, he was said something similar.
Biblical.
Yeah, and I was like, Stephen really wants to watch it and he loves it. I just couldn't give a shit. But no, yeah, when Henry's on, I'm sure we'll devote a good 20 minutes just to you two talking about Dune.
Man, you might enjoy the second one.
I probably would.
There's a chance. Have you finished that first one?
Nope. I don't even know why I gave up. Anyway, well, how much? It'll be 20 minutes. Jesus. Oh, okay. Acolyte trailer.
Yes.
I watched it once. Can't remember it. Looked cool.
I didn't even care. I saw martial arts in a Star Wars film, and I was like, I'm in. You don't even have to show me more. You showed me Trinity from the Matrix and a Jedi hood. I'm in.
Yep, I saw Trinity. And I saw shit. What was it? I forgot the word. Old Republic Jedis, and so I was like, cool. Yeah, I'm invested. Yeah. This is a bit different. This will be cool. I'm excited. Moving on. I have so many bullet points. I'm so sorry.
Well, it's just because I was excited about that because I went to Star Wars Celebration.
Oh yes, and that's when they announced it.
Yeah, so he got to. I think Henry was in that one, and he got to see the trailer before anyone else. I've been waiting for this trailer.
Oh my!
Then that was in April.
That's a wait, man.
That's them showing it now, and I'm like, I finally get to. Because I'm annoyed. I could have seen it. Turns out I could have got into the studio to sit in the stadium to see it, but didn't because I thought it was full, and I was like, there's no way they're letting me in. Turns out I could have. So I missed that trailer.
Damn.
And now I've got to finally see it, so I got to really absorb it and be like, finally, I get to see this goddamn thing I was talking about.
There you go. That's fair. Then that's a whole other level of appreciation on your part.
Yeah.
But no, I'm looking forward to it. I really enjoy the Star Wars shows. I don't really think they've been particularly terrible. I need to finish Andor though, which is a shame because apparently Andor is like the best one.
It's like meant to be the best one, exactly. I'm with you.
I just haven't finished it.
I got halfway in and I keep meaning to finish the rest.
Same. Aaron Taylor Johnson offered 007.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm down.
I worked with that man. I'm in.
Oh yeah, you have.
Yeah, it was Outlaw King. Yeah. So I got death eyes from him. That man could play James Bond.
I have nothing against it. I think he's a well-built man, good actor.
I would need to hear him because that's the thing. It's like depends how they do Bond. Because obviously they can make him a bit more Cockney, or they could make him, the usual very suave,
very distinguished. Yeah.
Well, I don't think I've seen him do like a suave British gentleman yet.
That's a fair point.
I think he's got it in him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I have nothing to compare it to. I only have his Bullet Train voice to really go off of him right now.
I have Kick-Ass, Pietro Maximoff, and Bullet Train. The three different versions I've witnessed of him, and none of them scream James Bond. However, if they just want to call the movie James Bond and then just have him be Lemon or Tangerine.
Yeah.
Oh, he was Lemon, right? Or was he Tangerine?
He was. Oh god, yeah, he was Tangerine, wasn't he?
I don't know, but if it was just a movie of him and they called it James Bond, I wouldn't complain. It would be a good movie. If you haven't seen Bullet Train, anyone who's watching, watch Bullet Train. I can't believe it took me so long to watch it.
I love that film. I went to the cinema. I was buzzing.
I should have seen it in cinema. Very good. Moving on to the gaming world.
Yeah.
Dragon's Dogma.
Breaking news today.
I think I know what you're on about, which is at the bottom of my list. We'll get that. Dragon's Dogma 2 came out.
Yeah, I've heard a bit about that since it came out. Because it kind of came out, for me, it kind of came out of nowhere. Really? Like, I hadn't really heard a big buzz about it. I knew about Dragon's Dogma, but like this one kind of just felt like I heard a couple of buzzes about it, and then, it's here.
Well, have you ever played the first one?
I didn't. But I had friends who did.
That explains why you didn't notice the hype.
Yeah.
I played the first one, never finished it, because it's notoriously... Well, I want to say it was notoriously difficult, or I was just notoriously simple and just didn't give it my time of day. But I was really excited for the next one because it looks graphically really pretty and the gameplay seems really cool. It just takes the first one, makes it a lot better. Because I don't have 60 quid spare, I've decided to actually go back to the first one and play it properly. So I'm doing that. Epically Doug just subscribed. I know you. That's Jonathan. I went to high school with him. How you doing, man? Thanks for the subscription. What was I saying? Dragon's Dogma 2. Yes, so I'm currently replaying the first one. I'm actually getting somewhere through it, so hopefully I can finish it. By the time I finish it, if I'm lucky, the second one will be on sale. But have you seen the drama surrounding it?
No.
So Capcom have, since it's come out, they've added microtransactions.
That's never a good sign.
That's never a good sign, but it's very, very little microtransactions. It's like £3 and you can buy a stone that lets you fast travel, or £5 you can buy a thing that lets you customize your character. However, people think that means the only way to do these things is by buying them. It's not. You can earn the money in game very easily and you can buy these things very simply. It is not that difficult, but because someone read on the internet Dragon's Dogma introduced microtransactions for these things, everyone's like, oh my god, a single player game where you have to pay money to fast travel, that's fucking stupid, and they haven't actually played the game, so they don't know. So I'm on the side of calm the fuck down, it's just another option. Some people do it, you don't have to. Here's the thing, people, here's a magical thing that I've been doing for years, you don't have to buy that shit. You know what other games have microtransactions and no one gives a shit about? Assassin's Creed. They have a Ubisoft store. Do you know what that is? Microtransactions. Nobody gives a shit. Don't buy them. Sorry, that might have been really loud, but I'm really passionate about this. People, they get so wound up because, like, oh my god, microtransactions. I'm like, don't fucking buy them then. Yeah. Because they're the ones that want, and then they still buy them. It's like, idiots. I've never bought a microtransaction.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have, as long as it's just like cosmetic, I usually do. You know, I'll pay for something that looks a little cool. Like I know in Call of Duty I bought a few characters, but that was just because it's like, I could play as Judge Dredd. That sounds like a laugh.
That is cool.
I'll buy a little person to play as. That's just for me. It doesn't really like affect the game.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. If it's like cosmetics and it's literally just something that doesn't affect the game in any way and it's just personal choice, if you really want it, go for it. I'm not judging you, but it's a case of you don't have to do it, so don't complain if you don't want to. So yeah, that's Dragon's Dogma 2. Rise of Hydra. Did you watch the trailer?
I did. That was mental.
That looks pretty awesome.
It just looked so real that I'm like, oof.
Games are getting pretty, yo.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Probably won't get it day one because, you know, shit costs money and I don't have it. But
I mean, I would need to see proper gameplay before I even consider it.
Do you know what? I was just thinking that as I was saying that line, I was like, do you know what? I don't think they showed any proper gameplay in that. They showed they showed remnants of what could be gameplay, but there was no like HUD or anything, so you know it's going to look very different.
100%.
As long as Captain America plays better than Captain America and Avengers, because I really wanted to enjoy playing as Cap in the Avengers game, but it just felt a bit.
It's a shame about that game. I was looking forward to that. I remember when the demo came out, and I was like, oh, this might not be terrible, and I was having an okay time. And then I remembered I was having it for free. And I was like, oh no, I'd have to pay for this. I
enjoyed it. I enjoyed the game. Yeah. I enjoyed it until I finished the story. And then I was like, right, now I'm bored. And this was back when microtransactions were a big thing and all the cosmetics you had to buy. And then I just didn't play it for months, and then they announced that they were just giving to everyone for free, and I was like, cool, I'm going to go play Avengers again.
Yeah.
And then I got bored again. But it's a shame, it had so much potential.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing. This one's a very me thing. I don't know if you particularly care about this, but Digimon.com have announced that they're releasing a new Digivice, like a physical, actual Digivice you can get, like old school Tamagotchi style, and it's called...
Yeah. I know we sell... At the shop I work at, we sell some Tamagotchi Digivices, but they're not the ones I remember.
Yeah,
they're like squares, like little square rectangle ones, whereas the one I remember looked like a Digivice from the TV show. That's the one I had when I was a kid.
I know there are some Digivices in the show that are more square because there's so many different Digimon shows that I could talk about. Endless. I could do a whole podcast about Digimon. Fucking love those shows. Anyway, but no, they're releasing a new one. It's called the Digivice Color, the 25th anniversary version, and it is essentially a remake of the original, of the little, you know, like cross cubey thing. It's on my arm. It looks like that. You can't see it because the camera quality is shit, but there it is. and it's really cool. It sort of lights up, and it's got like the whole digital thing, and it's all in color, and it looks really cool. I'll probably never get hold of one because it'll probably only come out in Japan, and it'll be really expensive if you do get hold of it. But they look cool, and if you're a big Digimon fan, yeah, that's cool.
Well, if I can convince my shop to look out for it, and if we can get some, that'd be class. Cause,
Cool.
I know me and another guy I work with would love that.
You a big Digimon guy?
So I only really watched the first three different shows. You know, the one that I remember, obviously the first one with Ty, the second one with
Davis.
Davis, and then the third one that had the card game.
Yeah, Digimon Tamers.
Those are the three I remember.
Yeah.
Everything after that, I have no idea.
See,
I watched Try, the Digimon Try movies, and I know there's a last one that ends that whole thing. We haven't watched it yet. My friend Mike that I work with, he watched it.
I watched it. I cried.
Yeah. So I do want to go back and watch. I want to rewatch them all, but the problem is they're not on anything yet. So
do you know what I
they're
think?
Probably on like Crunchyroll or something, but I haven't got.
I think my niece has my season 1 DVDs.
Yeah.
I've got season 1, 3, and 4 on DVD because season 2, which is a shame, which is my favorite season, I just couldn't find on DVD. But I've seen. You first. No,
I used to watch that stuff. Like I was more of a Digimon guy than a Pokemon guy when I was a kid.
Same.
So it used to come on here it would come on STV all the time, which is the equivalent of ITV for you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you just come on STV and on a little kids channel. So be like every time you'd finish school, there would be a Digimon episode when you got home.
Nice.
And I got super into it.
I fucking love Digimon. I've seen season 1 3 times. I've seen season 2 a few times. I've seen all the original movies. Season 3 Tamers I've watched through at least once. Season 4 Digimon Frontier I've watched at least once all the way through. And I started again with my nephew. Didn't finish it though. And then after that was Digimon Data Squad, which is actually really freaking good. I've seen that all the way through twice. And then it carried on, but I think they didn't dub it, so I haven't watched it because I don't mind watching Japanese cartoons, but for me, Digimon is it's one of those ones that I can't watch in Japanese because I grew up with it as a kid, and so it's in English.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, so there's Digimon X-Ross and all this. Actually, no, they did Digimon Fusion, but they dubbed it. But the thing with that one, it sounds, bad, but it looked too kiddie.
Oh, that's the thing when you get older and you still want to watch these shows. Obviously, sometimes they outgrow you. I mean, to be fair, some of them I remember, Spectacular Spider-Man had an art style that when I was older, or when I was younger, I didn't like it because I thought I was too old for it. Cut to now where I've rewatched that show and I was like, oh, I should have given this a chance. It looks great.
Yeah, I know that feeling. But then, I watched all of Digimon Tri. I have all 6 of the Tri movies on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I watched Last Evolution, which was the one that finished it. I cried. I don't own it, but I've seen it.
And I think Mike cried as well. I still haven't seen it, but I will.
But they're also doing I don't know if they're calling it Try 2 or not, but they are doing another movie which is Davis and his lot, and I'm like, I cannot wait.
I remember when I saw the start of Try. Minor spoilers for that. I thought they'd killed Davis and the other gangs. I thought they'd die because when you kind of see them shadowy, I was like, oh my god, did we just kill Davis? Did we just kill that old gang? Did people not like them in Japan? Why have we killed them? So convinced they were gone.
Well, I mean, I can't even remember what happens with them in the first one.
Yeah,
because I do remember they are in it a bit, aren't they?
Yes,
background
I
characters.
believe it's they're getting taken out and their digivoices are being taken or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I need to rewatch them. They're not. Honestly, they're not that good. For nostalgia, they're bloody great.
That's it. They're good only for me because it's nostalgia. I haven't rewatched the first couple seasons in years. I haven't seen them since I was a little kid. I remember bits about them that I loved, but I haven't seen them in years. The only thing I used to watch over and over again is I used to have a VHS of the Digimon movie.
Oh, good movie.
And I religiously used to watch that all the time.
As you should, respect.
Yeah.
But no, so what I love, because I'm a huge, fan of voice acting and all that stuff, is that when I watched Try, it had been a long time since I watched season 1 and 2. And for Try, they managed to get most of the voice cast back. It's the guy who actually voiced Ty retired 15 years ago or something like that, but he came back to voice Ty for these movies. And so it's just him and Agumon, the same voice. And I'm like, oh my god, it's my childhood. I was very happy. I mean, the movies are terrible. Not terrible, but they're not good. But they look visually beautiful and they sound amazing, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So, I need to make a mental note if we can do a whole podcast on Digimon.
You haven't brought up a certain game that was announced an hour or two ago?
Yeah. Oh,
Do you
really?
know-
I have a bullet point that I made this morning at 7 a.m. when I saw a TikTok about something that was. I don't. With that being said, when I saw it, I think it said it had been leaked and it was being announced later today. So the official announcement might have been out. Are you referring to Marvel Rivals?
I am.
See, I am in the know.
Yeah, I'm making sure. I'm keeping.
I need to Google it, see what's like officially been seen. I just saw a TikTok saying that this has been leaked. These are like the character choices.
Showed the trailer. It was really.
There's a trailer.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They showed the trailer like an hour or two ago.
I'll have to watch that later.
There's some gameplay and stuff on it.
Oh, there's gameplay.
Yeah, it's not. The thing is, it's not my kind of game. It's very Overwatch, and I was never a big Overwatch.
Yeah, I have that in brackets. I have Marvel Rivals announced brackets Overwatch style.
Yes, it is very like you'll see it when you watch the trailer. It's very Overwatch.
I enjoyed Overwatch.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. There are some choices that have to be made that I understand. Like I know people are gonna moan and complain, being like, "Oh, that's not how their powers work and stuff." But it's like it's a video game, a multiplayer video game. Like they're gonna obviously make things up.
That's fair.
Make it fit and to make it balance.
You can tell by the character styles as well that they're not exactly like true versions of said characters.
Exactly, but
So,
like I can hear Twitter already talking in everyone's ear, being like, "Don't buy this game. It's gonna be terrible."
Oh, it's gonna be terrible. They ruined Iron Man. It's like
Exactly. It's like I probably won't enjoy it that much, but I'm not gonna take it away from everyone. I'm not gonna be like, don't enjoy this.
oh, I'll definitely try it.
Yeah, exactly.
No. My brain just went because I was going to say a thing. I forgot what it was. But no, that's really cool. Looking forward to that. You should definitely check that out. Oh yeah, that's what I keep saying. Because keep looking behind you, I see that your Buster Blade has arrived and it looks really cool. I've been meaning to say that for the last half an hour.
So funny because it's smaller than I thought it would be until you hold it in your hand.
Yeah.
Like, the actual Buster Blade.
It's like the Buster Blade is what, like 7 foot long.
Just try and do this. So like in the original thing, the Buster Blade is like the full, like it's actually taller than like Cloud is.
Yeah.
Where this one obviously quite small, but like still like the size of like
a long sword. Yeah.
Above my waist and stuff. And you actually hold it in your hand, and it's massive. Like when you're actually holding it, you're like, this is crazy huge.
It looks awesome.
So, yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Oh.
Any more interesting news to talk about that's come out in the last 2 weeks?
Not really. I mean, I did finish. I mean, I'll just tell you quickly. I did finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Nice.
And I got super into it. I'm buzzing now for a third game. Can't wait to play that in like 4 years.
Yeah.
But no, it was very, very good. Highly recommend it to anyone who's like big on Final Fantasy. I'm gonna try my best to maybe try and dress up like Cloud at some point.
I need to get around to that, but I definitely need to replay Remake beforehand because I can barely remember any of it because I haven't played the original because I just haven't. But no, I did really enjoy Remake and I do very much want to play Rebirth because it looks beautiful. And anytime I see a clip of it, I skip it because I don't want it spoiled.
That's it. I mean, I've only been doing that and playing Helldivers. Like that's been my life for the last little while.
Also, Matt Mercer's the voice of Vincent Valentine.
Vincent, yeah.
So that's cool.
When Vincent came up on my screen, I was like, Vincent, here he is. And he started talking. I was like,
damn you, Mercer!
Mercer!
He's everywhere.
He came in and as soon as he opened his mouth, I was like, that's Matt Mercer. I can't believe this guy's getting away with it again.
He's everywhere.
I know. It's very good.
Nice.
I don't want to go too much into detail because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody because it's very good.
I appreciate that. We'll definitely talk about it in about 3 years when we've both played it again in preparation for the third one.
Before the new one comes out.
Exactly. And I would love to talk to you more about Helldivers. However, I have still not played it myself, but we can definitely put that on the side for when Henry's on a podcast and you guys can talk about that because he's obsessed with it too.
Indeed.
I will get around to it though. All I've heard is good things. Still good things?
I mean, do you have Steam to play it?
I have Steam. I have a PS5. I just.
Oh, right, never mind. Oh, okay, cool. You got PS5. There you go.
We were literally just talking about playing Final Fantasy.
I know. In my head, I know that.
It's literally behind me.
It's because we were talking about Xboxes before that I was like, oh, that's right, he has an Xbox, and forgot that you were talking about talking about Final Fantasy. So like, yeah, it really makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you can see, I'm pointing out on my camera, but
Yeah, I see it. I see it. I see it there now. But hiding at your wall.
yes. But no, yeah. So yeah, I'll get around to it at some point, and just kind of, I'm hooked on Dragon's Dogma now, to be honest, and that's a game that came out in 2012.
Yeah.
Awesome. Shall we move on to the main bread and butter of tonight?
Yes.
Which
So
we're doing
we
differently.
talked about it a little bit before last time we spoke, which was like a month ago. They showed the trailer for X-Men 97. Or what is it, 97, 98?
It's 97. X-Men 97.
The X-Men 97. They showed a trailer for that, and I was kind of buzzing. I remember I wasn't looking forward to it at first because I thought it was going to be like the CG animation that they've been using for like Marvel What If and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't buzzing for it at first. Then they showed the trailer, and then I was back in because it had the hand drawn. It's like a mix of hand drawn and CGI. They do it very well. And I was excited for it, and you said you hadn't watched it.
I had not watched the original, no.
No. And you still haven't watched the old show, have you?
I have not watched the original, no. But I've watched the 2 episodes of X-Men 97.
Which, how did you find it? I'm going to ask you a review of it.
How did I think of X-Men 97? I very much felt like it was a continuation of the original because I've seen clips and it still gives that vibe. The cast is cool. What was I going to say? I really did. I'm one of those people that like didn't realize how cool Cyclops is because I grew up with the movies where he's a pussy.
Yeah.
Excuse my language. But he's actually really, really cool and he's a badass. And I didn't really understand his powers, but now I've done some research into it and the kinetic energy thing's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't care for Rogue like at all. I know she's meant to be like a fan favorite, but whenever she talks or she's on screen, I'm just like, go away.
She was everyone's like childhood crush, but then you didn't watch the show, so that makes sense.
I've seen the frame that they're on about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I just find her a bit irritating. Jean I find less irritating than I do in the movies. However, she's still kind of annoying. Beast is cool.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a lot of potential. I'm familiar with the kind of storyline of X-Men. The whole mutants being subjugated and whatnot. And it's like we're still going to save humanity because we're better than that and all that stuff. And I love it. It's very cool. I'm very much enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I'm very drawn into the concept of good Magneto. That seems very interesting. I'm very much enjoying that. I want to see where that goes. So overall, I'm quite hooked. Because I do remember I text you saying, I'm fine, I'll watch 97. And then about an hour later, I said, well, I guess I'm addicted to this now.
Yeah.
Watch 2 episodes.
In fact, when I don't know when the new episode comes out. I don't know if it's today or
it
tomorrow.
Could be out. I was going to pick up my TV remote and check. Actually, no, I have it on my phone. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. Someone's commenting.
I've also had a message from my girlfriend saying Steven's quiet, so I'm turning your volume up.
Oh, okay.
See, it's a problem because the first episode you're really loud, and then I thought Henry was really loud, so I turned him down. And then if you go watch the episode, he's really quiet, but nobody said anything.
Interesting. Oh, okay.
So I've turned your volume up. But I got to remember that what I can hear in here isn't the same volume as what is being broadcasted, so...
So the person commenting, hey, Steve, I finally made a podcast. Superb.
Hello, friend of Steve.
Yeah, I can't tell who their name is.
Claustrophobic.
So hopefully they're still here. They'll write down who they are.
Claustrophobic.
I'm glad you made one. I assume that's Katie, but I could be completely wrong.
Oh, episode 3 is out.
Oh, superb, right.
New to Disney Plus, X-Men 97.
That's class. So that's fine, because usually for Disney Plus, it is usually Wednesday they release their episodes. For most shows, and I don't understand why they do that, but it's choice. Fine. I'll live with that. But I'm looking forward to it because even the filler episodes now, they've got me with the animation.
Yeah, it's
that was
really
always the
nice.
thing that would grab me as a kid.
I don't know who you said you thought it was, but you're correct.
It's Katie. That's fine. Okay. So Katie is a friend of mine that's actually getting married later on this year. So buzzing for that.
Congratulations, Katie.
She was one I was drinking with on my birthday. Me and her went to Aberdeen. It was class.
Oh, neat. Awesome stuff. Have a good wedding.
I'll make sure of it.
Thanking my goat. Take the good stuff. I'm just thanking my tech support.
Sorry. But yeah, like the animation back in the day, because I've actually been obviously rewatching. As soon as those 2 episodes were finished, I was like, I'm going to go back and rewatch some old episodes. So I've been rewatching a lot of the old 90s X-Men, and it's so interesting because like I have a love-hate relationship with X-Men in general.
Yeah,
Like I love the movies. Uh the comics are so complicated.
I can believe that.
I work at a comic book shop, James, and I would love to recommend you some X-Men comics. Fuck knows how though, because there are some great storylines I can recommend that are great, but after that I'm like, don't get attached because
The
it changes all the time.
That's the only problem with like, especially Marvel comics, is that they're always this one's this storyline. Oh, this one's this storyline. You're like, okay, can I not? I just want to like start and get to an end and it to be coherent. It's like I believe. Would you consider House of M an X-Men comic?
Yeah, it's one of the good storylines.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good. It's when
I mean,
Wanda
I
kills
think
everyone.
it's all right. I know it usually gets praised. I think it's an okay comic.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, it's a good.
hit me with those realistic expectations.
Uh, in terms of like an actual comic to recommend.
No, I was just like telling me straight that if a comic is apparently amazing but it's actually all right, tell me it's all right.
Yeah, no, I think it's all right. Obviously people have different tastes, so it's hard for me to recommend. Like, I think I usually tend to agree when someone's like, "Oh, it's one of the best comics ever." It tends to usually be right. But with that one, I think with X-Men comics, you just take a good comic as something that is cohesive
That's fair.
and something you don't have to read a million other storylines to understand. So like, there's a X-Men comic called House and Powers of M. Sorry, House and Powers of X.
Right.
Really good. And that like leads into the new series of X-Men that's been going on now since like 2019 or something.
Okay.
As soon as it got to the normal run, I lost interest because they had a million things. It was like, here's X-Men, here's X-Men Blue, here's X-Men Red, here's Extreme X-Men, and they keep doing that. It was like there was like 7 titles a week,
Fuck.
and they all tied in together. And I was like, what are they doing? Can't you just have a normal X-Men comic that I don't have to read all this for? And then, it was bizarre. And even now, they've announced. I'm gonna try and see if I can find it because this pissed me off. They announced like they're trying to make it smaller again. So to do that, they have made. I think now I can't find the article and I'll find it later. And I'll correct it next time we do this. But
Right.
it was like, here's X-Men, and you're like, right, that makes sense. That's your normal run. Extreme X-Men. Already you've lost me. What do you mean? And then there was like X-Force, and I'm like, right, okay, that's a different team, but like, explain yourself. What do you mean X-Men and Extreme X-Men? What's the difference? The teams. Why
Yeah.
are the different teams? I'm like, okay, but like, what are they dealing with? Are they dealing with different things? I don't get it, man. Why are they doing this? And they never make it simple. Like, at least with this TV show, you have your main characters. You know who the team is, and you're like, right, I can follow them. Maybe certain episodes will focus on certain ones, but I get it. Whereas the comics, there's so many that they have to split into different teams. And you have to dive into these storylines just to find the character you like that was maybe in a couple of panels.
Jesus.
Pisses me off.
See, this is why if I do read comics, I tend to read comics focusing around a certain character. Because I'd rather just have one focus on them than trying to find them amongst the medley of everybody else.
Exactly. It's bizarre. And like, I back in the day, I feel like back in the 90s it was easier, but then maybe that's just my nostalgia. But I remember, they had the X-Men comics, and you were like, right, cool. And then they would have maybe the comics based on the cartoons. You'd be like, here's the X-Men 97 comic book, and you were like, right, I get that because I watched the cartoon, I can read this comic and I'll understand roughly what's going on.
Yeah.
Then they did comics that was just Wolverine, and you're like, right, cool, he's popular, I understand. A Wolverine comic. Then they did a absolutely fucking superb run here in the UK where they just did a thing called Wolverine and Gambit, and it was just Wolverine and Gambit stories. Sometimes they were
I've heard
together,
of these, yeah.
sometimes they were separate. But it all made sense. You were like, yes, those are the 2 popular characters, of course you would put them together.
Seems fair.
But I feel like you don't get that anymore.
Probably not. You just get it in a movie. That being said, I was in a shop the other day and I saw a comic book called Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm assuming they've only just doing that to try and you're like, oh look, there's a movie coming out. You should read our comic books.
Sure, yeah, there will be. There'll be a bunch of that. Now, they do this thing a lot, especially in the UK with Panini Comics. They're very like on the ball with a movie's been announced. Quick, release this, and it'll be. I remember when Kang was announced as a villain. Panini released this like graphic novel of just like all these Kang comics, and it made sense, and it works when you're trying to get people into a character.
That's fair.
I just found the X-Men article.
Right.
It's worse than I thought.
Oh god.
Here is your future X-Men comics. X-Men.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Straightforward, you know what you're gonna get. Exceptional X-Men. What are you talking about? And then last, the Uncanny X-Men.
Oh, that's like the old school, right?
I'm gonna get so many people at work asking me,
what's the difference?
Yeah, not even just that. They're gonna ask me like, "Oh, can you recommend an X-Men comic?" And I'm gonna have to be like, "Well, if you want to read the X-Men, I would recommend the X-Men. But if you want to read the X-Men about these characters, I'd recommend the Uncanny X-Men." And I feel like I sound like such a dork when I have to say the same title but slightly different all the time. Pees me off.
Oh, those cursed comic book creators not thinking about the people who have to sell them.
They wind me up the wall, and Marvel's the worst for it. Marvel always does this because, like, obviously when they announce a movie or a character, for some reason they always get it in their head to be like, right, now we have to make a comic just about them.
Oh.
So and in theory I understand that it makes sense, but it annoys me because I have to always go up to people and they're like, "Oh, can you recommend me? I want to read a comic about this character," and I'm like, "Oh, this character is such like a." So here's what annoyed me. You saw Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
You remember the post-credit scene that had Hercules in it?
I did.
I had people coming at me being like, "Can I read comics about Hercules?" And I was like, "Fuck no, you can't. Who the fuck? Nobody knows who the fuck he is. He's such a nobody. He's in like some bullshit Avengers comic I can give you. He's in an Avengers run. But no, you're not going to read him. Like, there's no like single Hulk Hercules fucking comic. And if there was, I don't want to meet the person that wants to read it." That's how passionate I am about that fucking character. That's as soon as I saw him at the end of that thing, I was like, "This is the worst."
I was excited because, I like, Greek mythology. I'm like, "Oh my god, Hercules, cool, yeah," because I know vaguely that he appears in the Marvel comic books at some point and he fights Thor, and I'm like, "That's a cool concept of Hercules fighting Thor." But it's like, yeah, I know what you mean. There is no like Hercules run. He's not exactly a big Marvel character, but you never know, he might be.
Like, I understand it with certain ones, and even then, there's so many. It's another thing where like I appreciate people that are passionate. My favorite question. So I am the Batman guy at work. Anytime someone's like, "Can you recommend a Batman comic?" I'm the guy.
Steven!
And it's always funny because the person never knows what they have. Like it's always a gift for someone else.
Okay.
And they never know what they already have. So I'm like, "Well, you're making my job a million times harder." But here we go. And usually I'll get them to leave with something.
Nice.
But anything else, like X-Men's my blind spot.
It's so huge.
Yeah, like luckily there's a guy I work with now. He is our go-to X-Men guy. He reads all of it. So he is my little X-Men buddy. So when someone's asking me for an X-Men thing, I'm like, if I'm not just recommending you the basic storylines that everybody knows, he's your guy.
That's fair. It's like, right, here's an X-Men guy. Have you got a Batman guy for me? Thank you.
Yeah, literally. So, reversing back to the show.
What do we do?
Did you enjoy it? Did you have a good time generally with it? Did you understand pretty much what was going on?
Yes, I followed the storyline. I enjoyed the storyline. I am looking forward to continuing watching.
Yeah. So I know the biggest hurdle that everyone's kind of had is because they know it takes place after the original 90s shows. Can you just jump into it? And obviously, I thought you could.
I think
but
you can.
I've seen the 90s show, so I can't really judge. But it's good that you haven't seen it. That's why I kind of wanted you to see it, because I wanted to see if it would make sense to you, and you didn't have to watch 5 seasons of an old 90s show to get it.
So here's the thing. If you have any basic X-Men knowledge, you're fine.
Yeah.
Some things might catch you by surprise, like how cool Cyclops is and how... I don't want to say boring, but how much of a side character Wolverine is.
Yeah.
If you're aware of that, then it's fine. If you're going into it like, "Oh my god, I love the movies, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine's like the greatest thing ever," and then you watch this show, you're going to like, "Oh, what the fuck, they've pissed all over Wolverine," and actually really it's the more, comic accurate version of Wolverine. So get over yourself. But overall, if you know like the basic X-Men storyline of, mutants get, bullied a lot and not treated as well, and Magneto has always been fighting for mutant rights, and he's always done it a bit too, aggressively, and then Xavier wants to live in harmony with humans. So they've always been battling with Magneto, which you also get from the movies. So you basically understand it. You recognize most of the characters. The only one that might catch you off guard is Jubilee, who I really don't know anything about. I just know bits and bobs that I've heard from the previous show.
Yes.
But then again, she's in it. She shows her powers, and you're like, cool, yeah. I have no problem with that. It's an X-Men show. The mutants are everywhere. They're going to introduce characters you do not know, but it isn't going to change the story.
She was kind of, in the 90s show, she's kind of your way in, because the first episode is about her joining the X-Men. She's your young child eyes going into the X-Mansion for the first time and meeting all the characters for the first time.
That's the vibe I got, because it seemed like that when she was talking to the other kid. She was like, oh yeah, I used to be like, this is definitely how the first show started, was like introducing, here's a new mutant joining the school. She's a bit nervous, but she wants to be an X-Men. And so, yeah. But no, yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. I really did. The animation's sick. The Cyclops falling out of a jet sequence was awesome.
Because the thing is, I obviously I watched the 90s show and I loved Cyclops back then, but even I got caught up with the movies and stuff that I was just like, you know what, Cyclops is pretty fucking lame, you know? Like, oh, he didn't fucking do nothing. He's like barely a leader. He's just a Boy Scout or whatever. And then you rewatch the show and you're like, oh, you know what, fucking Cyclops is the fucking man. More of that.
It's like that fight scene in like the beginning of episode 1, where he's using his beams to like move around. He's kicking everyone else. I'm like, wow, this guy's pretty awesome. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. It's so funny how quick you can make me turn on a character by giving him one good fight scene.
That and the whole sea on the ground and then the way it lands. It's like, to me, my
that whole action scene, because that theme tune, when you have that, that's what you want. You want, like, this is what got. It's the same with He-Man.
Yep.
He-Man has like a great theme tune that when you just play it during an action sequence, it doesn't even matter that it played earlier in the episode.
It goes from
the minute you play it, I'm fucking in.
The hype.
Yeah.
It's like when the theme. It's like back to He-Man when like the first season came out, and when I say the first season, I mean Revolution, not 80s He-Man. But like as soon as he like whips out the sword and is like, by the power of Grayskull, which is really disappointing because you expect him to yell it. But then the blast happens and the music kicks in and he's like, oh, and you're like, yes! Let's go!
He has this like Sailor Moon transformation. It's class.
Yeah.
And there's that sequence in He-Man where he like fights. It's like the last episode where he fights all the monsters and the theme is playing in the background and you're like,
yes! Yeah! The whole For Eternia bit. Yeah. Oh, it's so sick.
It's so good.
It's
the same with this. It's like you have the group of X-Men, you have the group shot, and you have them, right, let's fight them, and the theme tune starts playing and you're fucking head banging and you're like, more of this!
What I loved as well is that it was the gradual introduction of the music, because they did that little, like that tete-a-tete or whatever it is when they're like talking to the guy before the fight starts, and you can hear just every now and then, you can just hear the no.
I hope they drop it
like really slowly, and then it's like the fight starts and goes, and you're like, oh yes, and then they do the Gambit Wolverine claws thing at the end, and you're like, oh, sick.
I'm such like a little kid when it comes to like animated fight scenes where I'm just like, oh. If I was like 5 when I saw this show, like this fight scene, you couldn't have stopped me at the playground. I'd be running about pretending things are exploding. I'd be like getting my hands like this, pretending they're Wolverine claws and start slashing. I'd be going nuts. I mean, I might as well be doing that now.
That was my life.
Watch this new episode and start running around my bedroom.
That was my life as a kid. I was that kid that just spent all his time in his imagination, and I was always running around like pretending I had superpowers, and I was like, and it's just, love it. I would still do it now if it wasn't frowned upon. I think it's why I cosplay.
See, that's exactly it. I love cosplay for this shit, because if I did that in cosplay, if we all got together, started playing the theme tune, just started pretending to fight things, people would actually think it was cool.
Exactly. If I still had my fake hair, I think Cyclops would be on my cosplay list, like the comic book Cyclops. It'd be very cool.
I mean, look, I'm just saying.
Right.
We get a group together. We get the Geeks together. We get them all in costume. I think we got this.
Ooh, okay. Well, you've opened. I don't know what the phrase is. It kind of worms now because
I mean, obviously.
No. We need to explore this now. We can't move on. I'm like, okay, so when you say, Jesus, I'm just hit my mic. Here's the discussion. So when you say the Geeks, are we talking the Geeks from Mutant Geek, or are we talking about a collection of geeks that we know between us?
I think we probably need both.
Okay.
I don't know if we could convince every geek in the TV show to do it. Do you think Natisha's gonna get into a costume?
No, Natish won't
do it.
Not
without fighting.
We could probably easily get Henry to do it with us for sure. maybe Martin. No, mine wouldn't do it. Mine wouldn't get in a costume. He just puts on a suit. Okay, so let's be honest.
I think if we get him in a bald cap and put him in a chair.
Yes, there you go. So Martin is a professor, which is weird because I'm the bald one. But I'll get a wig. I will pay too much money to have fake hair again. I love it myself. I loved when I had hair, and it made my cosplay life so much easier.
Yeah.
So so Professor X done. Martin.
Yeah.
Who would everyone else be?
No, that's the question. So, if we're going like accurate wise,
Okay, sure.
Liam would have to be Wolverine because he's a short man.
And he's fucking shredded.
He's jacked.
Yeah.
It's like he's jacked. He's small and he's jacked. Then you give him some claws and give him some hair. Like we'll give him a wee wig.
Yeah.
He's got this.
Liam's
no,
Wolverine.
Put him in a mask. You don't have to give him a wig. Put him in a mask.
There you go.
I think me or Henry could pull off Gambit.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I think Henry might suit it more.
I think he's got the stature.
You know what? I might just take the bullet, put on the white costume, and I'll just be Storm. In fact, I just remembered that might come off a little racy.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe Beast for you.
Yeah, I mean Beast is the most obvious one. But I'm not great with paint or body paint.
Ah, that's fair.
I'll just get fur.
just get a fur costume.
Just be a furry for a minute.
Well, the thing is, it's like, who'd you put me as? Because I'm not saying that I'd definitely be Cyclops. I'm just saying it'd be a really cool cosplay to do.
I mean, I think you could pull off Cyclops. I think it would work for you.
Oh, hey.
Okay. I mean, the hairpiece that you had before was pretty good, and it would work for either.
It would work perfectly for Cyclops.
I just don't know who else could really do Cyclops as well.
I think.
I mean, Henry might, but
I just pull off Boy Scout so well.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who else is in that cast.
What, of the X-Men?
Yeah, no, I'm already trying to think of it. I mean, there's Morph, but Morph is one of those characters that I only know from that cartoon.
Yeah, same.
So no one would really know who the fuck that is.
I could probably get Georgie to be Jean.
Yeah, there you go.
For me, yeah. Aha. Unless you had someone else in mind that you wanted.
No, and I can't. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there was a couple of the girls that wanted to join us at Comic-Con, but I don't know. I don't know if we can convince them. That was Saskia and I shouldn't have done this because now I forgot her name. Live on camera.
I know the only.
She's not watching this. It's fine. She was partners with
Well, I know. Oh, Sasha.
Sasha, I know your name. If you are watching this, I am aware of your name. It's fine.
I'd be impressed if you were.
It was like Saskia and Sasha were the ones that I remember being like, I want to go to a Comic-Con with you guys.
That would be cool. I don't know who they would.
They might convince them to get the costume. I don't know if we could, but they might.
I was gonna say, I remember the only one of them I've actually seen do any form of like cosplay since is Manon. Because
that's right.
Was she like a Mortal Kombat character at one point?
She was Katana from Mortal Kombat. And I like commented on the picture and I was like, you have no idea how happy this makes me. She was like, I knew it would be you.
But no, yeah, so she'd probably do that. Sasha and Saskia, who could they be? I feel like Sasha could pull off Rogue.
Yeah, I think Sasha would make a good Rogue.
Yeah, Sasha could pull off Rogue. She's got like the attitude for it. It's Amelia now following. Thank you. I swear you followed before Amelia. You just pop in like for 2 seconds every stream and either leave a comment or follow. But no, thank you for following. I hope you check it out. Amelia, would you ever want to cosplay a X-Men character? We're talking about potentially getting a group together and cosplaying X-Men from the 97 series. Let us know if you'd be interested.
I would love to be Wolverine.
Dude, you totally should do Wolverine.
Yeah, well, my hair is so ridiculous that if I got it into like a point like that.
I think you do it. Because even if it ended up just being the two of us, just doing Cyclops and Wolverine would be pretty sick. Yeah, it would be. Let's be honest. Like, I don't think Liam would dress up. I would not. Typical Amelia. I'd be a great for any of the X-Men.
Storm.
Helpful. You're Storm. Boom, done. Amelia Storm. But yeah, it could be cool. It's like I definitely think Henry would do it.
Yes.
I could easily talk McGovern and Georgie into doing it.
Yeah, Henry
says that's a lot of confidence. Oh yeah, Henry has friends.
Henry has a lot of friends that I think would join it as well. But like, it would just depend.
Exactly.
I just thought it would be really funny.
It'd be a cool idea. Put it in the planner. Pencil it down.
Yeah.
As a maybe.
Have my people call your people. And
Yeah.
See how it goes.
We'll arrange something. But that could be cool. That'd be really cool. I really, do you know what? I really, ever since I ever started cosplaying, however years ago when I did, an idea I really want to do is a group cosplay, because I've never actually really done a group cosplay. It's like I've had like a cosplay that is kind of related to someone who I knew was going, but I've never been like, right, 5 of us are getting together, we're going to do this group and we're going to spend the day together and we're going to get cool pictures and it'd be great, because I just feel like that would be so much fun.
That's it. It's always been in my head, because I remember me and you spoke about
doing Superman and Batman. And Nightwing and Batman. Yeah, oh my hair.
Yeah, I remember you talked about that. And that was like, I think it's hard to do group cosplays, because like for me, obviously I cosplay characters that I want to cosplay. And I think it's harder when you're in a group, because then you have to choose. Then you have to be like, well,
exactly, yeah.
What one fits me more?
But like you said, if we did X-Men, it is characters that you like.
Exactly.
And to be honest, I wouldn't put any constrictions on you. I'd say cosplay whichever character you want to cosplay.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anyone would really complain.
If you want Cyclops, I'll be Gambit.
Oh yeah.
I've got the stature, and I don't actually have the coat, but I have enough long coats that I can pull them off. Yeah. So I'm down for X-Men.
Cards at people.
I will gladly do that. I will speak in a very poor French accent and throw. It's not easy. Is it French? Is he French?
It's Cajun, so it's Louisiana French.
Right. Fair.
He talks in like third person. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I noticed that. That was weird. Anyway, what were we talking about, Steve?
Yeah. Right. So what I have though, I have a list of things, because I was obviously I knew about this in passing, because I told you about, I have a friend at work who's the X-Men guy, and he will occasionally tell me about certain characters that have ridiculous powers. So I was looking it up, and I just like went on to like the first kind of article I saw of people that had ridiculous powers. One of them, straight off the bat, is a guy called Ice Scream, spelled IYE Scream.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what his power is?
It's either to do with screaming or it's actually to do with ice cream.
It is to do with ice cream. He can turn into any flavor of ice cream.
Oh my god! What is?
Can you imagine for a second that you've been mutated and you've been given the next evolution of humankind, and your ability is to turn into ice cream. Any flavor though, that's nice.
Ooh, exciting.
There's some up and ups there. I don't know if you want me to send you pictures of some of these characters. I don't know if you can put them on screen if I do.
But I probably could. I'd have to do some jiggery pokery. So as long as you keep talking, I won't disappear.
I'll send you an image of them on the Discord, and you can try and put them up.
Sure thing.
Assuming that works.
See, it'd be very tempting. It's like, depending on your creativity, if you could like just come up with something on the fly and say, do you reckon this X-Men's real or not?
Oh, okay.
Your odd list of things.
Make
like a guessing game of it.
Some of them I'd have to read in, because I've skimmed this article a few times, and there's always something here that's ridiculous.
If everyone just ignored the weird glitch thing that happened. Oh my god, it's gone again. Steven, I'm so sorry.
It's all good, man. I'm sitting here looking at these horrific pictures that I find very funny. Because there's a character called Beak. Do you want to know what his power is?
Does he have a big bird beak?
Pretty much. That is pretty much what he has. He is... Actually, it's not letting me send you this picture. But he is just the equivalent of a human bird, and he looks horrific. You might be able to just Google him yourself and just type in Beak X-Men. But he looks terrifying.
I'm gonna try a thing. However, if I do this, do you despair? Oh shit, you do. Fuck.
All right. Sorry. This isn't all necessary.
Yeah, no, but it's a learning experience.
Yeah, it's all just for you to have context. But
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna figure it out.
Beak.
Okay. We'll start with him then. X-Men. Oh my god, that is hideous.
Yeah.
Right, let's see if I can...
Yes.
Oh, Jesus, it gets worse. Oh, and he was an X-Men as well.
Yeah.
Right. Which picture is particularly
Never
nasty?
seen these people in real life. Never, gun to my head, if you'd been like, is this person a real X-Men? I would be like, no.
Like, can't be. I'm trying to find a good picture to share.
Yeah.
Because, I tell you what, I'm seeing very different images. Like, different
Yeah, I'm just
vibes.
going with the one that I'm seeing on this article so far.
Right. Is he in his X-Men gear?
No, the picture I'm seeing is him, like, in a tree or something. He's, like, in a snowy environment. Looks like he's just screaming.
Does he have Beast behind him?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get that one. We can share it with everyone watching. Yeah, fuck it, I'll save it there. This is either going to go really well or really badly.
It'll be funny either way.
True, yeah.
Amelia, you want to cosplay this character?
Yeah, do you want to cosplay this monstrosity? It's not Beast, it's the thing behind it. There you go, just taking over half my screen. Didn't want to do that. There you go, put it underneath. This thing! I'll see if I can get rid of Beast. There you go. Look at that. Whoa. So that's Beak.
And I feel bad because the whole point of this character is, like, I'm sure you're meant to look at it and go, like, all of them get to be, look at them like humans because they're mutants and all that stuff. But, like, that's the kind of mutation that I feel bad because I know I'd be prejudiced. That if I was, like, seeing X-Men, I'd be like, oh, wow, Cyclops, you seem pretty cool. Oh, Wolverine, that's sick. Beast, you look pretty metal, man. And then you give me that character, I'd be screaming. And it would be like, oh, hey, guys, hey, oh, look at you. And they'd be like, ah! Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to react that way. It's just, I haven't seen something that looks like you before. Like, I just don't think there's a normal reaction I could have to seeing that.
Yeah, that's especially. Could you imagine that in, like, real life? Also, hello, Oscar. How you doing? Long time no see.
That's just me when I wake up in the morning.
Right, I have an image of Ice Cream.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I didn't really get much of an image of him.
Wait, is this EYE Scream?
EYE Scream, yeah.
Okay, cool. This is clearly, it's never been updated because this is quite an old comic.
I mean, I think it's from an old comic.
But not that one. Where did it go? Oh, okay, that one. What are you?
Oh boy, unbelievable that was a power.
Right, where is it?
I'm just reading here. Beak comes from a cross between an awkward teenage boy and a member of the Shi'ar Empire.
Right. There you go. There's Ice Cream, for anyone interested. Just a man turning into ice cream.
Yeah. X-Men, what's going on over there? Like, it feels like you've run out of powers. I was reading. I got reminded earlier as well because I was obviously looking up some stuff, and I used to read the Ultimate comics.
Right.
And I can't remember this. I don't think they ever actually gave this kid a name in the comic. But it turns out his mutant ability was that he gave off radiation and he basically poisoned his hometown.
I've read about this too. It's like people just started, like, dying around him, and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Yeah. So Wolverine is the only one that can get near him and kills him.
Yeah,
so
He takes him a beer in a cave, and then only Wolverine walks out.
And it was dark.
Do you know what? If I remembered, because, like, it was only a couple of weeks ago, I was on TikTok, and there was a TikTok saying, "Weird X-Men that you've never heard about." And it's like, stuff like that, and it was all these mutants that have, like, really bad powers. What did Oscar say? Long time no see indeed. I'm doing good. Good to see you back streaming. I saw you live another time, but was busy. Then glad I managed to catch you this time. How's it going? Oh, thank you very much, Oscar. I'm glad to be back streaming. I'm very much enjoying this new approach to it, which is podcasting with my very good friend Stephen here.
Yeah.
Chatting away about all the fun geeky stuff that we do every day anyway. And we get to share it with everyone. So I'm glad you could pop in and say hi. I hope you enjoy. I hope you can check it out more going forward. Stephen, what's our next obscure mutant?
So the next one that comes up for me that I'm looking at here is Glob Herman.
Glob?
Have a second to look up Glob Herman. Now, he is fairly popular. I knew about him before this.
Apparently he was in X-Men The Last Stand.
Yeah, I didn't know his powers, but oh boy.
Right. Oh! Wow, he's very briefly in X-Men Last Stand, apparently.
Yeah.
But the comics, that's weird. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll see about getting a picture. As I do that, if you would care to explain the mutant ability of
Yes.
Glob
Glob,
Herman.
he has a freaky mutation where he has like a see-through wax coating that exposes the entirety of his innards. That's his power. So it gives him like a hard shell coating, but he looks see-through. You see like his skeleton, you see like his like intestines, you see his eyeballs, his skull.
Guy's so...
It's just like covered in like a purple wax. It's mental.
There you go. If anyone would like to see a
Why?
picture, he looks like that.
What? Oh God.
That's weird.
Who wants to be that X-Men?
It's like,
Who's sitting there?
What's
in
the
playground
benefit
being
of
like,
it?
I want to be Glob.
I want to be Glob Herman. I'm going to be Wolverine. I'm going to be Cyclops. I'm going to be Glob Herman.
I think it's the fact his second name is in that article as well that really throws me. Just call him Glob.
Yeah, let's call him Glob. Maybe they think it's a bit too close to the Blob.
Maybe, yeah.
I know, right, Oscar? That is hot. Purely down to just Steven's description of the character.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain went blank.
It's alright, man. I'm looking at other things here. Like, I'm just looking down this list. I'm not going through every single one on this list because there's like fucking 25, and it would take us way too long to go through every single one, especially because I have to read the article and be like, what are your powers? But there's a character here called Bling.
Bling.
And yeah, now her power is her bone marrow generates shards of diamond,
Jesus.
which sounds a lot like Emma Frost.
Now you
But
mention it.
apparently she's also like Spike from X-Men Evolution. Don't know if you ever saw that cartoon. But Spike has like spikes that come out of his like arm.
Yeah, he was an original character, wasn't he? He shot out of his like elbows, or were they like spiky out of his forearm, and he was like porcupine.
So she just like shoots diamonds and stuff. And I don't think she's on the list because her power's bad. I think it's just bad because it just sounds like another two X-Men.
True, she looks like a pink Iceman.
Yeah.
But apparently Spike was an original creation for that cartoon. He's not actually in the comics.
Which that makes sense. And he was pretty cool from what I remember in Evolution. I used to love Evolution as well.
I remember watching a thing where someone said they hope they introduce him in X-Men 97.
Yeah.
Which would be cool.
Yeah.
It's a really boring design, people. It's just Iceman but pink. Just think that.
It's that one isn't as intriguing.
Yeah, I'm not saving that to my computer and then putting up. Oh Jesus! That mic was a lot closer than I thought.
Right, no, this is where my dyslexia comes in. How would you spell choir?
CHOUIR? That is wrong. That is so wrong.
It's because this person's either called chore or choir. I think it's choir.
CHOU. I can't spell. No, it's CO. It's CHOIR.
Right, so they're choir. Right, that's fine. We've solved that mystery. So there's a mutant called choir.
Does he have some like loud singing? Oh, it's a woman.
I think it's a she.
Oh, she. That is weird.
Yes.
That
so her
is
mutation
weird.
manifests itself in the form of 3 additional mouths all around her neck.
Yeah.
Now, lads, I don't want to. I'm just saying. Hear me out. I guess, and it says here her power is just that it can have her voice carry in multiple directions.
Ooh.
That's all they're giving me.
It's weird to look at.
I'm like, okay, does it make her louder? Nope. Not that I can tell. Cool.
Just she can project her voice.
Yeah.
I know, Oscar. I'm sorry. It's just you say X-Men, I assume a guy. I'm old-fashioned. Sue me. Yeah. Again, pictures are boring. Just picture a woman with short hair who has 3 more lips around her neck.
Yeah, now we're talking. I mean, crazy.
So weird.
There's a person called Shenzorn, SHENXORN.
I should have been typing that as you said that. SHEN
XORN.
XORN. Right.
And like when I hear their power out loud, it sounds fairly metal, but at the same time I'm like, what purpose does that serve? And how does that power even exist? Whereas their mutant power is a star is they have a star for a brain.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
so
odd.
they have the power of a star in their head.
Sure.
They have to wear a helmet to control their ability. They don't need to eat, drink, or breathe to survive.
That's pretty metal.
They also have they're also telepathic. So just a bunch of powers in that one for just having a star in your head.
This guy can do anything.
Yeah, but like how this is what annoys me about X-Men, and it's why I can't really get behind everything where it's like the mutant abilities, from what I understand, is it's meant to be an evolutionary power. Like it's meant to be the next evolution of human. So I understand things like you can breathe underwater, you can make spikes come out of your body, something like that. I understand some of that.
Yeah.
But if your entire power is a star is your brain, I'm like, how is that helping? How is that the next evolution?
Yeah, it's like how do you get from human to star brain?
Yeah, like who's sitting there going like, you know what? Like some all-powerful, if there was a god, sitting there being like, you know what?
Let's put a
star for a brain.
Yeah, let's put a star in the head.
Yeah,
but
just
it's
for the
like,
banner.
so how old did he realize he had a star for a brain and then have to start wearing this helmet to control his star for a brain?
Yeah, there's like that doesn't give me that information, but I'm like, how do you find that out? It gets weirder when he uses his black holes to pull in gravity and suck up other beings. So apparently he can conjure black holes from the star as well, because I guess it's like a dying star. That's the whole point of black holes.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, they turn from a star into a black hole. That's weird.
It's like, oh, fuck, I don't understand how some of these work.
Really wilding with some of these mutants that they are.
Well, that's what I mean. This is what I'm saying. These are some of the ones that I'm like, you should never. Technically speaking, you should never have to hear about these characters.
True. Oscar makes a good point as well. He says surely they'd melt everything nearby if their head was a star.
But I think that's what the helmet's for.
That's a bloody powerful helmet.
Yeah, but then it's X-Men, so like I get it.
I mean, I'll admit his design is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think it looks.
You give me a sick character with a helmet, I'm all in. But then you start explaining to me his plot, I'm like, what? Again, I walk into the X-Men mansion, I'm seeing all the X-Men, and I'm like, oh, Wolverine, you look sick. Oh, Cyclops. Oh, Rogue. Hey, who are you? You're wearing a big helmet, and they explain to me their name, and I'm like, oh, cool. Why are you wearing the helmet? You got laser beams like Cyclops, and it's like, kind of. I have a star for a brain. And I'd be like, that's ridiculous. I gotta leave.
Like, right, it's gone too far. I don't know what. I don't know how to do it anymore.
Pull up that jet. I gotta go because this is already out of my hands. There's a person called Bailey Hoskins. He is from a comic, a 5-issue comic called X-Men: The Worst X-Man Ever.
At least he's aware of it. Oh, I might have heard of this guy in that video I was telling you about. Bailey what?
Yeah.
Hoskins.
Bailey Hoskins.
Oh, let me see if I can remember it if I can just look at him.
I'll wait, and you can tell me if you recognize this person's power. Because I didn't know until I read this, and I was like, what the fuck?
Okay, so I'm not going to share a picture. It's just a ginger kid. I do remember. Listening to X-Men, and he was part of the X-Men, but his power is just so...
Really simple power, but oh boy.
Oh, isn't he like a nuke or something? It's like if he uses his power, he dies.
He's a walking time bomb.
Yeah.
And like, again, this is that situation where if someone told me my power was that I blow up and I die, I'm like, what?
Party pooper.
So you're telling me the next step of evolution is to get rid of me? Like,
take the hint, kid. Destined to die.
Like, that's the kind of shit that, like, I don't get. And I understand that you have to keep making up mutant powers, and you have to obviously make ones that, drive the plot forward or make wacky stories with. But I mean, you tell me that, and I'm like, oh, that's outrageous.
Just weird. Yeah, it's like...
Also, how does someone find out that that's their power?
Apparently Beast did a test on him.
So, like, but how do you test to you'll blow up?
It's like, so it seems... your mutation is spontaneous combustion. No.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know if I believe them.
I'm trying to find
Beast could tell me
the
that.
panel
Beast
where...
could be the smartest man alive and tell me I'm going to blow up and I'll die and that's my power. And I'd be like, oh, okay, sure, Beast. I get it. I'm with you. This is some kind of ribbon for the new X-Men. All right.
Well, apparently...
And then I would just blow up.
Yeah. Beast words is you're kind of a human firework.
Yeah.
So you explode. So yeah, that's shit. But no, it's actually really tragic because I'm suddenly remembering all the stuff I read. But it's actually really tragic because when he was growing up, he didn't realize he was a mutant, and then one day his parents sat him down and said that they're mutants and that he's a mutant, and he got like really excited, and he's like, oh my god, I'm a mutant, I'm gonna be able to go to Charles Xavier School, I'm gonna be part of the X-Men. And then they take him there, and Beast's doing his test, and he's like, oh my god, do I have like metal, do I have claws inside me, do I have this, do I have that? And he's just so excited. And then he's like, Beast's like, okay, so you've got this ignition ability that you essentially, if you use it, you will explode, and then you'll die. And he just becomes like distraught. I tell you what, X-Men goes dark, doesn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, like some of those powers are just like bad.
But it's like your point, it's like from an evolutionary standpoint, it makes no sense. It's clearly just a case of writers have run out of ideas.
Well, is it? It's why I find Rogue's ability so good and yet so heartbreaking. Which always makes me laugh, because there was always that running meme from like the third X-Men movie where they talk about having a cure. And Rogue is so like, oh my god, they've made a cure? And Halle Berry's Storm is like, oh, it's not a cure, there's nothing wrong with you. And someone like took that image and like put it under comments of like, there's nothing wrong with you, said the woman who could make Storm, to the person that cannot touch another human being without killing them. And it's such
so
like
true.
like, how brain dead do you have to be, Storm? She clearly doesn't want to be that person anymore.
It's a very good point, yeah. It is dumb.
Like that's why like at least with Storm though, her ability is still cool while being heartbreaking. So like no, I don't imagine her being on this list. However, there is this guy who I did know about and I had heard of before because the guy at work told me about him.
Okay.
His name is Gold Balls.
Oh god, please tell me.
He has the power to summon gold balls.
Ooh.
Yes, he slings. Like, oh god, what is it? It's like they trying to see what they actually describe it as here. So when life, so hold on, they're trying to make a joke out of this article. When life hands you gold balls, make them go boink. So he uses his bizarre mutant ability to summon gold balls and fire them.
Because why not?
Which is just basically, again, this is that thing that always sounds similar to. So it's just Cyclops with optic blasts. So it's just fucking Gambit with his ability to make things explode. Like, it's just, I'm going to fire an object. The object just happens to look like gold balls.
True, yeah, there are quite a few of the mutants that have that kind of ability. Just projectile something or other.
Yeah. And I understand, again, you have to do something with that, but I'm just like, gold balls? That's what you thought of? Alright. You gotta have something. And, like, you couldn't even have given him a gooder name, like a better name? Like,
Gold Balls.
Gold Ball? That's enough.
Yeah, that'll do. No one's gonna remember him anyway.
This guy you might recognize. I'm not going to tell you what his power is. I'll see if you might remember him. I wouldn't, so I'll be surprised if you do, but you might.
Okay.
There's a guy called Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist.
His actual name is Axel Clooney.
Right.
Axel Clooney.
Zeitgeist. Is he like a poisonous dude?
Yes.
Hey.
You'll have seen him in
Days of Future Past.
No. Well, maybe. I mean, the film that's coming up here that I see him in it's kind of X-Men adjacent. It's not an actual X-Men film, but it is in that universe.
There's other movies in the X-Men universe? There isn't an X-Men film?
There's one X-Men movie in the X-Men universe.
Oh! No. What, was he in Origins?
No, he's in Deadpool. Or one of the Deadpools.
Oh, is he... Is he the guy who, like, vomits acid?
Yes.
Oh!
Yeah,
It was the
there you go.
Skarsgård. Oscar was
And
right. Good.
Yeah, and again, gun to my head, if you were like, you're mutant ability, you're gonna be a superhero, and you got the luck of the draw, and you got a mutant ability, and your mutant ability is to vomit acid.
Yay.
And I think that's the point that gets me. Is it's never just he spits acid, because I'm pretty sure in Deadpool he just spits it.
Yeah.
Until he actually vomits it in the film. But every time I've heard him be described, it's always he vomits acids, he spews acids. It's never just a simple spit.
Oh, it's like...
Always like... And I'm bad with vomit.
Same.
I'm always like properly like clenching. So I can't imagine what I'd be like if it was acid in there.
I love Oscar. I have this mutant ability after a tough night out.
Ah, right there with you, buddy. That was me on my birthday night.
I haven't vomited from, and I've only ever thrown up on a night out. That's a lie. I was gonna say once. That is a lie. But the first time I vomited on a night out was only like a year and a half ago, and that was a staff do at my last job, and I got slaughtered. And I vomited at least 3 times that night. I think I passed out in a toilet cubicle.
Oh no!
I woke up shortly afterwards and then carried on with my night and didn't drink anything for the rest of the night. But I've vomited a few times, and I have since vomited.
Yeah, I can't remember if I told you this story before. I didn't actually get that bad on my night out.
Is this? Are you about to tell the tequila story? Because you're being prompted to.
Oh, the tequila story. So the tequila story is as simple as me and Katie on a night out in uni. We went to a club. This is on like a Wednesday or something. It was dead, and it was just me and her. We were like, you know what? We're bored. Let's just go to our club, and we'll have some drinks and we'll have a dance. We got there. Place is dead. But it was like starting to pick up a little bit. Katie and me are sitting at a table. They used to get like pictures, like proper pictures of like Red Bull and vodka for a $5. Wow. It was class. So we were just sitting there drinking our pictures. Katie leaves her bag and she's like, I'm going to go to the toilet. And she wanders away. Now, because it's just me and her at a table, obviously people around us probably thought we were together. And she walks away to the toilet, and there was the 2 drunk guys and a woman all dancing together, and they look over and they see me, and she see that she's walked away, and they come up and they're like, come dance with us, and I'm like, no, it's fine, she's coming back, because they thought she'd left me. She thought like we had a fight and I'd just been dumped, and I was trying to explain to these 3 drunk people, no, she's just gone to the toilet, I have to look after her bag. But they dragged me up to the dance floor anyway, so I've got her bag on me now. Her bag, my picture, and I'm dancing with these strangers who are wasted. And I'm getting there. Katie obviously comes back. I have to hand her bag and I have to explain, we're dancing with these people now. So we're dancing with them. And for people that don't know a lot about Aberdeen, it's a very like oil-driven town, city. So a lot of the money that gets made is from oil drilling and oil stuff. All the stuff that happens with oil happens in Aberdeen. So people get very rich from it because it's a very well-paying job. Like anything to do with oil over there that ends to do with the rigging tends to get them a lot of money.
Fair.
And the reason you knew that these people worked in the oil rigs is because you know those women that you'll see like have like trays of shots.
Yeah.
That come down.
Oh, did they buy the whole tray?
He not only bought the whole tray, he took the tray from her and just handed her money. I don't think this man knew how much he handed her. Oh, it was a wad of notes, and she just had to like take it. He was like, "No, that's it. Go. That's your tip and all that as well." And she just kind of wandered away, being like, "Oh, okay." And it was a tray full of tequila, and I even now thinking about it, so Katie knows this. I struggle now thinking of tequila. I can't have tequila again because the guy just kept on being like, "Drink tequila." Like we're all taking shots, and after 3, I was already like, enough. But the guy was like, nah, we got to finish them. And obviously, because the guy had paid for them, you kind of felt bad.
Yeah.
And, we were enjoying the night. So we just kept on having more shots. And he did it again. Motherfucker did it again. He bought more shots. And me and Katie were wasted. Wasted. We were gone by the end of the night. I was staying at Katie's house that night. She went to her bedroom and I went to stay on her couch. And, we were gone. I was at, we're talking, we were, the next morning, we were wrapped up in a blanket trying to figure out what went wrong with our lives. Never saw those guys again.
But you have the memory.
Never got the names. They just bought us drinks all night. And, wasn't even, kind of weird because I was waiting for it to get weird. I was waiting for, all right, when are they going to get awkward and start asking us oh, you want to come back to our place or something?
No,
didn't get anywhere near there. The guy who just liked to have company, it was him, his 2 friends just wanted to have more friends, so they got us up there.
Why not?
Yes, Katie was spewing in the bathroom.
Lovely.
You generally hear a little squeaking Steven. And I was drunkenly trying to walk over to the bathroom to try and find her, and she was there, and I had to help her back to her bedroom while I was also wasted. That was one night. Recently, my other night, the most recent I had was, I think I might have told you this before, I've gotten into a big Apple Jack Daniels kick.
No.
Have you ever had Apple Jack Daniels?
No, but it sounds nice.
Yeah, get some Apple Jack Daniels and some apple juice. It's great. It is fucking dangerous because it goes down like juice.
Did you know what? I have a combination right by my feet actually.
Yeah.
If we're talking about it, this is my hook. Ugh, I'm making a mess. So my thing right now is Desperano. Ignore the size of this bottle. With sweet and sour syrup. You mix that with like some Coca-Cola or lemonade. Oh my god, it's so nice and just
we're talking. Drink responsibly, kids.
Yeah, this was a gift when I moved down south. My work colleagues got me this, so I've been here for 8 months, and as you can tell, there's still quite a lot in the bottle. So drink responsibly.
Yes, well, my problem is because I've had to stop drinking the Jack Daniel's Snapple for a bit there, because on New Year's Day, and Katie can tell you this, I was like waiting on New Year's Eve. I'd finished my work. I'd finished about I think we finished at 4. I got home. I was meant to go to a friend's house for midnight for like the bells. Cut to me being like, I'll have a couple of drinks because I'm in the flat by myself. I'll have a couple of Jack Daniel's Apple.
Couple of prees.
Yeah. So I had like three glasses. That 3 glasses turned into more glasses. I had half the bottle to myself.
Oh wow.
And like it sounds super depressing, but I was just having a good time. I was watching like films and I was playing games and I was just drinking more. And it got to the point where I was phoning my friends at like 9:30. I phoned Katie. I FaceTimed her. I hadn't spoken to Katie for months at that point. I'd phoned her out of the blue on FaceTime at 9:30, being like, "Happy," and she's like, "Stephen, it's only 9:30. We've got hours to go yet." And I'm like, "What?" Like, not my head couldn't comprehend it. Well, as soon as she hangs up, I phone my mum, and I'm like, "Happy New Year," and she's like, "What's going on? You right?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm good." Hang up. Like, I got so bad, and then I was like spewing in my toilet by like, I want to say about 11 o'clock. I was out cold in my bed at 11:30. I didn't even see the bells. And that's when I had to wake up the next day and be like, right, okay, we can't drink Jack Daniel's and apple juice anymore by myself. I have to have people around because I need to be controlled.
That's amazing.
It was gone.
I've never
That's right. Katie's brother was next to her. So I hadn't even met Katie's brother before. That was his first interaction with me, being drunk, being like Happy New Year at 9:30 on a New Year's Eve.
I don't blame you though. It's like, who wants to stay up late? Just like enjoy your afternoon party. Like, Happy New Year, everyone. I'll see you on the next one.
My friend Sam, like they were making me play Halo because they were like, "Oh, come and play Halo with me," and I don't think they realized just how drunk I was. But I was like crawling into the living room where my Xbox was, and I was like turning the plugs on while they were on the phone with me, and then I was playing Halo, and Halo's a first-person game, and I was already kind of dizzy. And when you're playing a first-person game, when you're already kind of drunk, the minute your first-person character starts moving, I was like, I have to go. I'm gonna puke. I had to turn the whole game off, and I just had to leave.
That's a fair point. I think that would mess with me.
Imagine if it was acid, I would suffer.
Exactly. Oscar, mild miscalculation. Yeah, but who actually has time to do proper calculations when drunk? I suddenly have just
talk about it. I am like, I might have a wee. Oh no, I don't have any apple juice today.
Oh no.
But it's only 8:30. I could go to the shop.
I would be very tempted to pour a glass of my drink right now, but I don't have a glass in front of me. All I have is my Back to the Future mug, which, I didn't finish my coffee. That's depressing.
I am off tomorrow, but I've got a dentist. I shouldn't. I need to be responsible.
There you go. I am not off tomorrow. I have work at 5:30 in the morning, so you can guarantee I'll be fast asleep shortly after this stream. So if the stream doesn't last a standard 2 hours, I'm sorry. But...
I'm sure we'll cut it off soon. I'm just going to go for a couple more. Like, I mean, Jubilee's on this list. Understandable, she makes fireworks. That's
does she ever in like a fight or anything, or does she just?
Yeah, she fights a few times. Like her powers do make things explode. It's just most of the time it looks like fireworks.
Right, cool. Because she hasn't done anything in the first 2 episodes. She just always just dancing.
No, she just kind of I think she ends up making a good like distraction most times.
Fair.
In the comics, she's like a rock star.
Right.
She's like she's an actual like performer.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah, so like in the cartoon, obviously she's just like a teenager. Toad is on this list again. That makes sense.
Do you know what?
Just a fucking human Toad.
I was talking to my manager today, and I was like, "Oh, I've got the podcast later. We're talking about all the weird mutants and the, X-Men mutants are weird." And he was like, "Oh, I never got that frog one. It was just weird." And I was like, "Oh, Toad." And he's like, "It's not even a toad though." It's like, "What is that?" So I was like, "Oh, fair enough." Yeah. So the fact that he's actually on the list is there. You go.
That makes sense. Like the actual list is just called Freaks and Geeks 20 Weird Mutants, but obviously I've not gone through all of them. I'm just going through some of the weirder ones.
Some of the standouts.
Yeah. I'll go for this last one just because, we want to wrap it up fairly soon. You got to get to bed, now I need to make my food.
Food is important.
Heather Cameron, codenamed Lifeguard. Now, I don't understand. Her ability isn't... What? But that doesn't mean her ability isn't a bit weird. So, she's a former surfer and lifeguard that can detect danger to human life within her vicinity.
So she's got spider sense.
Yeah, she's just got spider sense. Is that what you're telling me? Like, she's number 1 on this list, so I was expecting something a little better.
All right.
But,
she's got like a sixth sense to danger.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like a cross between Mystique and Darwin. So apparently she has powers that, like, combine with the danger.
Oh, so she adapts to the danger. Darwin's cool as hell.
Includes growing arms, her skin becoming golden armor, and even her legs turning into a fishtail.
Interesting.
So she's just Darwin.
Like, essentially, I don't know why she's on this list. This actually sounds like a really cool mutation.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because maybe her name is the only thing that caught them off, but yeah, that just sounded like a normal character to me.
Yeah, that sounds like an
X-Men. What makes me about this list is that Darwin is right before her.
Why is Darwin on this list? Darwin's badass.
Yeah. I guess it's because of the way he looks in the comics. Because, if you look at him, oh boy. Although, to be fair, he was totally wasted in First Class.
He really was, which is a shame because I thought his abilities were really cool.
It also doesn't make any sense.
What? That he died?
Never understood. Yeah, like, I don't understand how you made him die when his entire thing is to adapt to his environment.
Exactly. It's like, oh, adapt to this. Some nuclear energy. Oh, he looks like a Martian.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a white Martian from DC.
That explains why he looks weird, though.
Speaking of DC very quickly, have we had any confirmation of when the next Crisis on Infinite Earth film comes out? Because I feel like I've been hearing about it for a while, and yet I still don't know when it's coming.
What, part 2? I haven't even watched part 1, but I need to. Let me have a quick bit of research. Oscar thinks absolute crime that they killed him off in First Class. Says racist.
I think it's racism, actually. I agree.
They made no sense to kill him off. He was the coolest character there.
Kevin Bacon.
Fuck you, Kevin Bacon.
Unbelievable. If I knew then what I knew now, if I knew the guy from the EE adverts was going to kill X-Men.
Oops, sorry. I didn't know where else to Google, so I just got the trailer up.
That's fair.
Which I haven't seen because I haven't watched part 1 yet, so I don't really want to spoil it.
That's also
so
fair.
I'm just going to skip all the way to the end. Look for it on digital is what it says.
Alright, cool.
Ooh, Batman Beyond's in it.
Yeah, I heard that he's meant to make a good cameo, and it's like voiced by the original guy as well.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah,
one more mutant I just found who's
look
kind of
for
useless.
it on digital is all it says.
Cool. It's probably just not out yet.
That's fair.
So there's a guy called Tag.
Right.
Guess what his mutant ability is?
I am flummoxed.
He tags you. He can find you wherever you are because he's tagged you, I guess.
Ah, it's like Hunter's Mark.
And that's one of those things that, like, I understand why that power is useful. But if you weren't part of the team of X-Men,
it's kind of useless.
What good are you?
You're just a creepy stalker. You're just really good at stalking people.
Oh, yeah. There's a dark storyline you can make with that guy. Yeah, there's a creepy horror. You know what? Disney, hire me right now. I'm going to make you guys a horror film, a creepy fucking horror film about this guy who stalks women.
There you go.
He's tagged them, and they're all in high school, and he's watching through windows and shit. And you can't escape him. He's tagged you.
You can't escape the tag.
The film's going to be called Duck, Duck, Goose. Copyright me.
Not even Stevens. Me. Copyright me. Oscar, I'd do devious things with that power. Exactly. See, Oscar, there you go. You've got your person to play tag in your movie, Stephen. You already have some ideas.
There are some weirdos out there in the Marvel, like, mutant universe, apparently. So
wouldn't surprise me. It's like,
yeah, that was just a good couple of them.
As the governor lady from Batman v Superman says, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, which is actually, it's not true, but it's a fair point. Some people shouldn't have power because they're evil people.
That's why in a world of superheroes with all these X-Men and their creepy wee powers, be a Superman.
Bosh, be a Superman.
Yeah, that's how we end it. Credits.
2 Geek message of the day. Don't be a creep.
Get on a t-shirt.
Be a Superman. I was so tempted then just to go to the end screen. Just like, be a Superman.
That's it. Yeah. But no, I will let you go to bed. I think that's a good time to kind of wrap up.
Yeah, I feel like hour 40. We've covered all sorts of news, lots of X-Men stuff, and a good chunk of drinking because,
yes,
we're adults.
We talked about that.
We do
and
that.
People did indeed join us, and I appreciate everyone who has stuck around and offered some opinions.
I love it when people talk. It's one of the great joys of having it on a stream is having people be able to pop in and say words. You look like you really want to say something.
I was going to leave it there, but I just realized I do want to ask you a question, and I feel like if I ask you it later, it won't mean anything because it's the X-Men episode.
Okay, hit me.
If you could have a power, what do you think you would want?
Well, okay. Well, there's limitations to this question because I've always thought it's a different question. If you're asking if you could have a superpower, what would you have? That's one question. But if it's saying if you had a mutant ability, what would you have? Is very different.
I don't mind if you'd rather just consider it a superpower, as long as it's not something as long as it's something that isn't like I want to be rich.
Oh no! It's for me. It would be I'd really like the idea of being a speedster.
Yeah.
I just think that'd be so cool, and I'd save so much money on fuel and travel, and I'd save so much time, and I just think I'd be able to have a lot of fun, and I'd definitely take up a superhero lifestyle. If I knew where my things were, I would show you a drawing I made of my super suit for if I ever got superpowers. I designed the suit. He is called Velocity. It's a white and blue kind of suit with a visor. It looks really cool. It's kind of based on the Flash, but kind of not based on the Flash. But it looks really. Yeah.
How white are you talking?
Well,
White's a dangerous color for superheroes.
True, but it's not really. It's more like very pale blue, and then some shades of like darker blue. In the shape, it's got like racing stripes in the shape of a V for the velocity that go over his chest and then onto his arms, and he's got some like lines around his forearms, and I think he's dark blue boots, and the visor is also dark blue.
Yeah.
And it has like a heads up. I'm saying this, none of this is real, but in my mind, it had like a whole heads up display thing where it could have like Google Maps in the corner because, not all speedsters know how to get where they're going. And so, but it'd be like a super fast Google Maps, or like, when you put a waypoint in GTA and it gives you like arrows, so it'd have like an augmented reality kind of situation, and a speedo because that's interesting. Yeah, it'd be really cool. So yeah, I'd be a speedster if I had if I could. How about you?
Probably be to give people orgasms on command. Yeah, probably something simple that we can all get behind. I just think that's a very useful power just to have in general. I mean, it's technically speaking, it's a power we all have the ability to do, but it'd be so much less work if I could just have one.
Oh, me and my proper nerd answer that research. You're just like, I made people orgasm. Speaking of which, have you watched that show on Disney Plus, Extraordinary?
The Extraordinary one? Well, that's part of where I'm like, you know what? How handy.
Sorry, it's that Jonathan. He subscribed right at the beginning of the podcast. I didn't realize he was still here, and his first comment is just, "I can relate."
Yeah.
I'm assuming to make people orgasm on demand.
Other people are telling me as well, the ability to spawn a chair so I can sit down anywhere. You know what? Fucking take it back. That's a sick power. Don't get me wrong. It'll put you on this list of bad X-Men characters, but how fucking handy would that be?
That would be very useful. I'd get behind that.
And Katie wants to talk to animals, so she's a vet. That makes sense.
That would make sense. She'd want to be Dr. Dolittle.
Yes, but at the same time, Katie, think that through. How many pets are you going to have to listen to?
Don't shove that thing up my butt.
Yeah, it's like they're going to be whining about injuries or talking about how, I like to think of pets as very like, you remember like Doug from Up? Like the dog who's just like, squirrel. I think they're very distracted. So the whole time you'll be talking to them and they'll just be like having a completely different conversation from you.
I love that. Killing a bug would be a nightmare.
See, that's the thing. With the orgasm power, I wouldn't want it to be just from touch. because that's where it gets dangerous.
That's
That's when anyone who touches you, if it was the power to like anyone who touches you has an orgasm, then you're in trouble.
Hi, nice to meet you. Shake your hand.
Then it's an awkward, family dinners and family meetups are going to get very awkward. Where everyone tries to grab your hand at like New Year's Eve or whatever to be like, Happy New Year.
So to be able to do it on demand, have control over it, I could see that.
If I could command it, then if I could control that power. Because do you ever watch Misfits?
No, but I've seen clips.
Highly recommend it. I mean, I don't know much anymore. I remember it used to be good. I don't know if it's aged well, but
Fair.
it used to be good. And one of them did have that power, but it was only when you touch someone they would become like horny, like super horny. Which it was such a gift and a curse because it meant like when she wanted to, she could sleep with whoever she wanted, but anyone who touched her she didn't want to. Obviously, it would cause problems.
That's fair. Yeah, because it's like the same with Extraordinary, which I haven't seen, but I've seen the clip of her on a blind date with a guy that whoever he touches orgasms.
Yeah.
I need to watch that show. It looks like I feel like I could maybe enjoy that show.
Yeah.
Because I like when shows try to make superpowers the norm, and then what the world is like that. So
I do just want to advertise here, ladies and gentlemen, for the people that might watch this later on and hear this, and I know deep down they're probably thinking, Stephen really wants that power. Does he not make people orgasm? Like, is he okay? I can.
Wait, so
that's why I emphasize that.
So what show are you promoting?
I'm sorry.
you said let me just shout out or promote something quickly.
Oh no, I wasn't. I was promoting myself.
Oh.
I was just.
This show. Promote this show because you're amazing and you can do that. And so if anyone wants to know Stephen better, follow him on Instagram at spoopsmagoo92. And who knows, you might discover if he has a mutant abilities.
What a lot of weird DMs now.
And on that note, time to end the show. I've gone into silent laughter. Oh god. Anyway, it's been a delight. It's lovely to have you back, Stephen. I missed you.
Thank you very much, man. You too.
I'm very much looking forward to the next podcast, which I'm pretty sure is safe to say now is going to be Godzilla themed.
Yes, hopefully it will be. I might even rewatch all the old MonsterVerse films so I can talk about all of them.
Cool, you can tell me about them because I'm not doing that. Awesome stuff. Well, thank you all for coming and saying hi and all your kind words and interesting thoughts. Please do join us in 2 weeks' time for the next episode of the Two Geeks podcast, you beautiful people.
Woo!
Love you.